All right, well, here we are. We working on the finials, and all I'm doing is just roughing them out right now. I'm doing it all between centers, but I've marked my centers with all these. Now I'm just going to punch the centers with center punch, and these centers have to be really very as close as you can possibly get them to center, because this thing is only about an 1/8 inch wider than the hole. So you know, we'll see. Or actually, it's a 1/4 inch wider, but that leaves you an 1/8 inch to play with. So anyway, let's get this on the lathe. All right, we're just getting ready to rough this down, and the plan is just rough it down. I'm not even worried about getting all the flat spot out. I just want to knock these corners off and get it as close to round as I can get it without actually making the diameter smaller, because I'm going to have a 3/4 inch tenon down on this end, and actually I have 2 of those as I progress on through the finials, but and I need extra shoulder right here, so I'm trying to preserve as much of the diameter as I possibly can. All right, here we go. Alright, that ought to be pretty close. Now there's still a flat spot or two, like this is a flat spot, but it's almost there. So I'm calling that good. I'm going to go ahead and put my tenon down on the end. I've got my vernier caliper set for 3/4 inch. So here we go. And all I'm doing is putting a small tenon on there. These are my calipers. Alright. Alright, that one's good. Let's see how it fits. There we go. That's a good fit. Okay, I've got my spigot jaws mounted on my chuck, and I've got one of my blanks in here. Okay, so this tenon here is going to end up being the tenon that goes inside the globe, and it's very important to go ahead and choose your globe. And I've chosen this box elder here, and we want to make sure that it's going to fit, and it will, but it's going to have to have an undercut in order to fit properly and make it look nice. So we're just going to go ahead and lock everything down where it's at. Now, what I'm doing here is the first 1.5 to 2 inches or so is going to be the finial for the top of the ornament. Okay, and then I'm going to cut another tenon, and that'll begin the bottom finial for the bottom part of the ornament. So I've got a box elder globe and a sapele finial. Alright, well let's see about getting this thing started. I need to go ahead and make an undercut that's going to fit. So and what I'm going to do with that is I'm just going to use my skew just that corner, I'm just going to make an undercut. Doesn't have to be much of an undercut. It just has to be able to fit nicely on the globe. Okay, and I've got a really nice contact all the way around the outside right there. So I should be good however I want to design that. So I'm going to go ahead and get started right now on the top part of the finial. I'm just using my 3/8 spindle gouge. I want to make sure I have no flat spots. And I do. Alright. Okay, now we're just going to start on the base part of the finial. That's all I'm trying to get done here. Alright, so let's look at that. Okay, looks good. I need to just touch this up right here. Alright, okay, that's good to go. I'm just going to go ahead and sand that down here around the base, mainly just this part right here. That'll keep me from having to sand it up next to the chuck later. I'm sanding 220. I'm sand 220 and 320. Just this bottom portion is all. Alright. Okay, that looks good. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and part this off and put the tenon up here for the next part. So I'm going to go here. Now I know it's going to, the very top part of my top finial is going to come to about here. So let's go ahead and cut that, or get it marked anyway. Right about there. I don't want to cut all the way through yet. Let's go ahead and just take some of this off. should be good. Let's go ahead and make our tenon here. Now this tenon I'll make a little bit bigger because it's going to have more leverage in the chuck. So I'm going to make it about a 1/4 to 3/8. Probably about 3/8. Alright. We'll go ahead and part this on off. Alright. There we go. That's ready. That off. Go ahead and divot the bottom. Now what I'm going to do here is just go ahead and work on the base of this one also. But I need to start an undercut. Right. Okay. Well, let's see what the bottom of this one is gonna. How the bottom of this is gonna work out. Okay, now, really nice fit with the undercut, so we're good. All right, let's just work on the base. Make sure I get all my flat spots off. I believe they're gone. Flat spots are all gone. All right, so we'll start shaping the base. And all I'm trying to do is just get a little bit of distance away from the chuck. Alright, and we'll go ahead and sand that. I'm just hitting it with 220 and then 320. And I'm only doing this bottom part where it's up next to the chuck. That way I don't have to get my fingers up against those jaws. Good. Alright, now we're just going to turn it around. I'm just going to remove some of the bulk material with my bowl gouge. And I'm just going to start tapering this down. Okay, move that tailstock back out of the way. Alright, now we'll start shaping the bottom of our finial. And we'll just shape it ever how we want to shape it. I'm just using the wing of my spindle gouge. Alright, that's pretty nice. I'm just going to continue on. Careful of that. Make sure I got past that catch. Got a little bit right there. Alright, okay, that's ready for sanding. And I'll say in 220 and 320, and I'll just be starting right here and sanding out. So I'll be back in just a minute once I get done sanding. Alright, we've got the bottom finial done. Get it off the lathe. It's sanded up to 320. I'm not going to go any finer than that. Alright, now we're going to finish the top part. Okay, now the top part. All we have to do is finish this part right here. Sand it up. I'm going to lop the very top of this off so I have a flat spot in the very top. And mark my center. Alright, there we go. Alright, we'll hit it with our sandpaper. Alright, now just going to drill a hole in the very end. I'm using a 16th inch drill bit right here, just held with some needle nose pliers. And we're just going to drill a hole. Alright. That's done. I'm just using these little eye screws. It's the smallest ones I could find. They're number 216. I would have rather had brass, but they didn't have brass coated. But the silver looks good too. I'm just gonna hold it with my fingers and turn the chuck until it screws all the way in. Alright, there we go. Okay, Now the top's done. All we got left now is to glue it up. And all I'm using to glue it with is a medium CA. Medium CA. And I'll start with the top first. And all I'm going to do is just put a little bead of glue around the tenon. There we go. Put a little bit more in there. This tenon's a little bit looser than normal. Alright, and I'll find the way the grain runs. The grain runs this way on this, so it's going to go in there just like this. Alright. I'm going to shoot it with some accelerator right quick. Okay, and then we're ready to do the bottom. I'll do the bottom the exact same way. Make sure I line the grain up. Get it on there. Okay. Alright. I'll give it a little shot of accelerator and there we go. I'll hang it up. I'm just going to hang it up on these little wires right here, just like that, and get it ready for finish. We're going to use a lacquer finish on these. Alright, let's go get some finish on. Ready to put the finish on these things. And all I'm using is rattle can, clear gloss lacquer, and I'm spraying outside. But I just take my ornaments, and they're hanging on wires. I get them spinning and shoot them. Let's see here. Maybe you can see that. There we go. That's the first coat. That's the first coat. It may take 4 or 5 coats. It may take more than that. It may only take 2. But I'm going to keep going until I get the finish that I'm looking for on these things, which is a high gloss. And all right, well, we'll be back in just a minute. Well, all right. Here's a few of them done. I put them on my display for you. My displays hold 12 ornaments, so I've got enough for 2 displays. But yeah, these are the ornaments, and they're a lot of fun to make. I love making them. They're good skill builders. They're a good challenge, you know, for turning small spindles and things like that. But anyway, let's conclude this video. Well, all right. I hope you enjoyed that project. I know I broke it into 2 parts. I kind of apologize for that, but this is it's kind of a long project, and there's a lot of steps and things like that. And you know, I would have just had to cram it into. If I'd have just made one video, I'd have just had to cram it together, and I wanted this to be, you know, more of what I do when I turn these things. But yeah, they turn out. I think they turn out really nice. Like this one here. This it's curly maple, and you know, it's got a walnut finial on it. I think it looks really nice, but it weighs almost nothing. I mean, the most weight is right here in the finial, And this one's about 8 inches tall. Yeah, it's about 7 3/4 tall. So, you know, they're pretty big ornaments, and you know, they get heavy really fast if you don't hollow that out enough. But if you hollow it out too much, you end up with this. This was one of my ornaments, and yeah, I allowed the interior diameter to exceed the exterior diameter, and you know, that happens. But that's how thin, you know, I'm trying to get these things. I'm trying to get it within a 1/16 inch or less on the inside, and sometimes at the bottom of the ornament, you know, it may look kind of thick where the mortise is. Yeah, that's just because you didn't go quite deep enough. But you have to be really careful, because it's very easy to go too deep, and if you go too deep, you end up making your mortise too big, and then you have to custom fit a finial and all that. It slows things down, and you know, kind of adds little complications. But I hope you enjoyed this project. These things are so fun to turn, and I think they look really nice. They're elegant, but yet they're still robust enough, like these finials here. They're, you know, they look pretty nice, but they're still robust enough where they're not just going to break by being put in a box, you know, over you know, a 10-11 month period, because people are going to hang these up, and then they're going to throw them in a box, and they're going to go up in their attic or whatever, you know, for a year, and you want to make sure that these things aren't broken when they take them back out. I use a lacquer finish, lacquer or polyurethane. A lot of times I use polyurethane on these. I like it better, but both will give a really hard finish. I kind of like the look of polyurethane a little better than lacquer, but I don't do a lot of the oil and wax finishes and things like that on ornaments or on pins or anything. I generally use lacquer or polyurethane, just simply because people are going to be handling them. They're going to, you know, be put up and things like that, and I want a durable finish, a finish that I know is going to look good, as good 10 years from now as it does right now, and oil and wax just doesn't do that. So that's why I use lacquer or polyurethane. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this project. I know I really did, and now I've got to get these things wrapped up and get them ready for the show. So I will see y'all down the road, and y'all have a good day.